Did you ever watch Winnie the Pooh when you were a kid and think to yourself, this is great and all, but like, what if it was same? And that's why I'll be watching Winnie the Pooh Blood. The movie was made by Jagged Edge Productions, which has a habit of making very low budget movies very quickly. So obviously they're already working on Winnie the Pooh 2. What I'm really excited about is the fact that they're working on Bambi, The Reckoning. But until then, let's watch the sludge that is this movie. The story starts out with the unsupervised Christopher Robin stumbling upon some anthropomorphic animals deep in the woods. They play every day and he brings food to them every day, so much so that they grow a dependence on him, so that when Christopher Robin goes away to college, Winnie the Pooh and his lazy-ass friends begin to starve. They come to the conclusion the best thing to do is to turn to cannibalism. They eat Eeyore. Being eaten one of their friends, they begin to lose their minds and hate everything that has to do with humans. I know times are tough, but for that to be your first course of action, I'm so hungry. Yeah, I think we all know what we have to do. Go to the grocery store. Wait, what? Why am I the first option? There are so many other options. Wait, are we at a paprika? Use it on the paella last week, Trader Joe's. It's just frustrating, you know? Like, you think you know it's in the pantry and you always seem to forget. 5 years later, Christopher Robin decides that he wants to introduce his fiancée, Mary, to his forest friends. Now, I'm all for supporting partners, but if a grown-ass man tells me that he can still currently speak to a pig friend, I'm not going into the woods with him. But that's just me. Okay, so this was super frustrating. As soon as they get to Pooh's, I don't know, home area, Mary starts to freak out for no reason. Like, there's no context at this point. She hasn't seen a drop of violence, and she freaks the fuck out because there's a few chains here and there. I'm sorry, but this strikes me as judgmental. Winnie the Pooh could have stumbled upon a hot topic and came out with a new aesthetic. They don't know that.
Look, you're not in any danger, okay? I know them, all right? I'm here to protect you. It's going to be okay, all right?
I really don't like this.
I digress. The judgmental couple trespass into Winnie the Pooh's home and freak out when they see that Winnie the Pooh had drawn a disturbing drawing. Again, I just feel like there's a lot of judgment going on. Who among us didn't draw some disturbing images when they were a child? Who among us? Right. But then they hear Winnie the Pooh entering the cabin and they decide to hide while Pooh ends up taking a nap. Eventually, they try to make their escape, but before they do, Mary gets a warm greeting from Piglet. I just want to point out that Christopher Robin tried 2 times to help Mary, and then he just stopped. Remember what he told her?
I'm here to protect you.
Apparently, he just meant that twice. Look, I know our standards are in hell at this point, but can we raise them just a little higher? The boyfriend of the year makes a run for it, and he's finally reunited with Winnie the Pooh, which, can we all agree that Winnie the Pooh has the best chola eyebrows? Unsurprisingly, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet drag his ass out of there. And that's all we know about Christopher Robin up until this point. We're then introduced to the second main character, Maria, while she's in a therapy session. Before we move on, though, I do want to point out the therapist's stress-inducing decor. I don't know why you're uncomfortable. As your therapist, of course I care about what you're saying. This questionable therapist ends up recommending to Maria that she should get out of town and just clear her mind. Because of this, Maria ends up going away for the weekend with a group of friends. Because one of Maria's friends, Tina, has the same level of time management as me, she ends up being late and therefore misses the carpool and decides to drive up on her own later. So tell me why, as soon as they get to the cabin, Maria and her friends decide to put away their phones, knowing that their friend Tina is still on her way. They don't know if she's gonna have an emergency. They don't know if she's gonna get lost.
Hey, can you call me as soon as you get this? Because I have no clue where I'm going.
Like any rational adult, Tina decides to go deeper into the woods to try to get better reception. And that's where she runs into Pooh. But something I didn't expect was that once Pooh catches up to her, he lets her go, all because Tina has a pure heart. Just kidding, he puts her in a meat grinder. And I'm sure Tina's friends are incredibly worried. Oh, okay, coffee. Okay, we then get to see how Christopher Robin's slumber party has been going. Okay, I don't condone violence, but the level of petty that Pooh reaches in this scene is masterful. He puts Mary's body in front of Christopher Robin and then showers him with her slish slash.
An hour later.
Because at least one of Maria's friends has some common sense, she decides to get her phone and enjoy taking some selfies in a jacuzzi, which is fun until she notices that Pooh is in the background. Again, lots of common sense is being displayed here. She gets out of the jacuzzi, tries to see who's out there, and she leaves that common sense out to die because she proceeds to go back in the jacuzzi and closes her eyes. And Laura regains consciousness just in time to see this. And once Laura and Jess realize that Laura's having a less than perfect time, they freak out and run to the house.
Laura's dead. There's someone else outside.
Whoever it is probably wrote that.
The person who made Laura bleed is the person who made the Laura blood letters, Maria Kipa. Wait though, she also makes an incredible suggestion.
Come on, we need to call the police.
But then doesn't do it. Because as we all know, saying that you're gonna do something is exactly the same as actually doing it.
We need to call for help immediately. Steven, make the call while I try to contain it. Steven, how much longer before they get here?
Oh, you actually wanted me to call them. Oh, okay, let me just... Wait, Maria's not done. Because it isn't until now that she remembers that she actually brought a Pew Pew to the cabin.
Oh, go on. Let's go. I've got to go upstairs. Go on, yeah. I've got to go upstairs in the room. Come on. Please come get it. Come on. Okay, I've got it.
And then she proceeds to take out the most Looney Tunes Pew Pew that I have ever seen. While Maria continues to make poor choices in life, Alice and Zoe decide to go check if the back door is locked. It's not.
The girls.
Alice gets knocked over and Zoe falls in the pool. Maria and Jess get there just in time to see that Zoe has mastered the art of floating and Alice is being taken away. Like the good friends that they are, they follow after them because I would have done the exact same thing.
What the fuck was that? Jessica, if there's someone else trapped here, we can't just leave them.
Yes, you can. Look, I'm not saying I'd lose all morals and integrity if I was in a life or death situation, but I would lose all morals and integrity if I was in a life or death situation. Then they hear another scream, and because they're obviously better people than I am, they go to look for this person. And they end up finding a severely injured woman, and instead of immediately helping her, they circle around her as if it's story time and proceed to ask her a bunch of meaningless questions, as if they haven't been in the movie this entire time.
What happened to you?
What have they done to you?
You've spoken to them. Please get me out of here.
And as they're hobbling away trying to make their escape, the woman catches a glimpse of her reflection and freaks the fuck out. This woman goes from barely being able to stand to stealing Maria's gun and having a full-blown Western showdown with Piglet. But then she's interrupted by Pooh, who takes her down with a ninja move. It finally occurs to the ladies to run, and Pooh chases after them. Maria and Jess run away, and Alice stays behind so that she can have a full-blown Kill Bill moment with Piglet. But apparently, Pooh had circled back and catches her in the act. And it's at this point that he decided to work on his vision board. And honestly, if he just added a few more things and really focused, I really think Pooh can still make 2023 his year. And while Pooh was in the middle of planning his future, Maria and Jess interrupt him because they inexplicably decided to circle back with him. And it's at this point that Maria and Jess run into British hillbillies.
Is this who's been chasing you? You like picking on small girls, do ya?
And as these charming fellas are approaching Pooh, Jess and Maria are frantically looking for the keys for a car that's already on. Pooh eviscerates them. He slaps someone's face off, stomps one of them, stomps. Maria and Jess finally get the car going, but Pooh ends up getting on top of the car. Because these ladies are fortunate enough never to have seen a Fast and Furious, they don't realize that if they could just hit the brakes, he would go flying off. It eventually occurs to them, but they also knock themselves out. Maria regains consciousness just in time to see Winnie the Pooh turn Jess into what could be used as a soccer ball. I wouldn't. I'm just saying it could be. Look, this is a judgment for... Look, I'm sorry. You're getting a glimpse into... And as Winnie the Pooh is about to send Maria to the pearly gates, Christopher Robin arrives. As Christopher Robin and Maria are crawling away, Winnie the Pooh is alive. As Christopher Robin is weeping for a total stranger.
No. I'll stay with you forever. Take me instead.
Who says his first word? And since you're obviously going to show this movie to a child, please remember to highlight the moral of the story. Don't forget your friends. I'll see you next week.
This is so nerve-wracking. Help me, help